I've seen a lot of films I think are incredibly good. But I don't have one. I mean, I see many films from the old days, especially. I see old films. I think, my God, that's so good. But I don't have any one. Really, I don't. I'm not. You know, I remember. I always James Cagney always impressed me. That I met him one time, by the way, and he came to me, a little MG. And I was on the lot, and he came over just to say hello to me. I don't know why. Same thing with Edward G. Robinson. Those two actors were fantastic actors, real gentlemen. I thought they had great talents. I'd say James Cagney. I mean, he could, if he was doing a film. Did you remember White Heat?
Yes.
My God, what a film! I mean, I've never seen anybody so mad in my life. He scared the hell out of me. I mean, remember when he shoots? Yeah, I can't breathe. Okay, bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
And when he dies at the end, I thought the whole thing was incredible. I mean, things like that. I mean, the actors, they were gentlemen. They had class. They were, and they were so simple and just classy people. I don't know, because I'm the type that right now, and I always have been, if I don't like it, I just walk out. I don't watch the end of it. I don't waste my time.
The Hong Kong movies?
I don't waste my time with things I don't like. I mean, I'm not.
You don't give it any importance
No,
to that?
No, I don't give things importance. If I like somebody, or I like this, it's the only thing important. No, zero. It's just the opposite. I find that most of it is just. I really don't care for most actors. I've met some which I like very much. I knew James Dean. I was with him, by the way, the day he died.
With James Dean?
Yeah, the day he died.
Before he crashed in Little Bastard?
Yeah, I was with him, and he was with his mechanic. We were talking. He said goodbye. He took off. 2 hours later, I'm having lunch, and this fellow, an actor who did a TV series, he said, "My God, James Dean just died." I said, "No, that's not even funny. I was just with him 2 hours ago." He went there, and from the moment I saw him, it couldn't have been more than 2 hours. He was dead.
Wow.
I mean, but I mean, it was just something, because remember, he was 24 years old.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I thought it was incredible. He told me what he wanted to do was be a director. He said that's what he wanted to be, was a director.
He finished it. Was it East of Eden or Giant?
Well, his last film?
Yeah.
Giant.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was horrible in the last scenes where he plays the rich man at the end.
Yeah.
And I think he hated it too. He didn't want any makeup. He wanted to. I think that's the one time he really screwed up badly.
And still, he got an Academy Award nomination for it.
Did he really? I didn't.
He got 2 Academy Awards nominations, one for East of Eden and the other one for Giant.
Well, I knew Rock Hudson very well. He was really a nice person, believe it or not. And I thought Rock, when he did that, it's the one time when he did the fight scene, I thought, because he wasn't, we'd do volleyball and that. He was very awkward. He wasn't very limber, you know what I mean? And in that, I thought he did the fight scene very well on that. That I enjoyed. But, and then a friend of mine, who's the godfather of my children, he did Rebel Without a Cause. And
I love Rebel Without a Cause, to be honest.
Stuart Stern was the writer.
Yep.
And Stuart was probably my best friend for years. And all my children are called, the middle name is Stuart, after him. Yes, I was working all the time. I must have had at least 40 jobs. And so I didn't have much time, but one thing I was very good at running. They claimed that the 220, that I ran the second fastest in Utah. that time. I could run very fast because I was a little bow-legged. I think it helped. I don't know, they say, but I was very good at running. I could run the whole day because it's when I ran it made my I think it made me not, well, maybe it made me not think. I don't know. I remember there was a film called Run Rabbit Run, and John Updike I think wrote it. And I said, my God, that's exactly what I run for. I would run because I wouldn't have to think. I could run all morning till night, just keep going. I tell you something very funny. I saw, what it was and everything, and I watched what's his name play one time. What's his name? The great one who died of drugs.
Maradona.
Maradona. And it was incredible. I must say that he just looked like he was doing nothing, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, he just went there, and it looked like everybody was standing watching him. I said, I don't get it. I mean, I don't know why, but he must have been incredible because I watched him. I said, why don't they do something? Why don't they stop him? Why don't they, I didn't care about that either. I think, thank God I did, because I would have never had what he did, talent and his music. I'm glad I did that. I mean,
really?
Oh yes. I'm not. I don't regret it at all. Not at all. I have to say that life's been very good to me. I mean,
You wouldn't change a thing?
Yeah. How can you change something? You don't know what would happen then.
But what you did know that happened, would you change it?
No, because it would probably change something else. I mean, things are...
It's a change.
They kind of work, they work together, And so I definitely would have not have gotten married the first time. Because that's the one time I married her because she was the owner's daughter. And that's the only time I've ever done something like that. And I paid her. She was, I'm sorry, she was a mother, and she was a terrible mother, horrible mother. And that's the only thing I really regret, because it's the only thing I feel like, there's other little things, but that I shouldn't have married her. I did because she was a daughter, and I paid the price. I don't have any. I saw the world, which I wanted to do. I didn't care. I took films that paid less and were less good, just so I could go to a country I'd never been to before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I'm maybe the only actor who did that. I mean, so many people would say to me, why aren't you doing this? Well, it'd be good for you. And I said, because I don't care.
How many countries did you film in?
Well, I know at least 35. And but I would go everything. I'd always know the people. There's not one person I didn't like, one country I went to that I didn't like. So I mean, everybody. I always go along well with people. That's all. I mean, I learned a lot of things from them, So yeah, I have no regrets at all. I really don't. I've had a life I enjoy, but I think you'd be surprised. I remember I'd be in Spain, and I used to love to go in Italy too, up with my car. I'd go up to little villages which nobody knew about, and maybe there was a restaurant. There was no restaurant, but I'd say, well, what could I eat? And I'd go in some place and I'd have fantastic food. Or I'd sit in Spain, and then all of a sudden I'd see some old man who looked all by himself, and he would tell me about the Civil War they had. He'd tell me incredible stories. I mean, fantastic stories that I'm sure he never told anybody. Nobody ever asked him. I mean, all the time I got great stories from people. So, yeah, maybe because of being an actor, they were more interested. But I think almost everybody's had, not everybody, but you know, you've had your great, I mean, we've all had stories, and I'd love to listen to those stories. I really do. Well, you know, I had a place always, but I was always traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I told you, I mean, if I could go away, I'd go away immediately. And in the beginning, I loved to travel. I was always traveling. I'd be, you know, many times in France and this and that. But later on, I was so happy to get home. And since right now, here where I am here, there's no place I'd rather be except for the PCH. Love France, yes. I mean, and like all countries, it's gone down. A lot of homeless now. Champs-Élysées has people lying there homeless. And before it was, you know, it was a fairy tale. And believe it or not, the best food I had weren't the Michelin ones. It was the cheap little ones, and like in Rome, a little by the side of the road or something.
Yeah.
They were the ones I liked.
Some gelato, something.
Right. And simplicity. I love simplicity. That's all I did. You know, I don't know. I mean, everybody was nice. I enjoyed that. It was a part. You know, I consider life like chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a time. I love animals, and you'd say, well, why did you like bullfighting? Because I knew Roman Gain. I'd been in his home. I knew all the famous bullfighters. They would dedicate a bull to me, and I learned. I mean, I used to take the novilleros. That's because before you become a bullfighter.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so brave, and they'd be in terrible pain, but they'd have a rip in their costume, traje de luz, and that's what they cared about because they didn't have money. They didn't have money to take care of, to buy another thing. And so I'd love to take them to the bullfight ring, and I'd love to. I even jumped. It was without meaning to. I jumped in one time. This one fellow, he had a terrible cut. He'd been hurt. I knew he could die. I jumped in with a bull, and I jumped and picked him up. I had a little 190 SL Mercedes. I put him in my car, and I rushed him to the hospital because it was right there where the vein is, right there. And I did that, and I mean, and these bullfighters, and then they have you know, each one has their own music. You don't realize it. You think it's always the same music. Each great bullfight has their own music. And I would go when they would be blessed by the priest, and I'd be there with them. That was one part of my life, and it was a very big part. And so I don't know. I consider, and then but when it ends, I just close it, and I go into another life. I close it. It's completely closed, and it's a different one. So I've done that many times. I've done it many times where I'm just seeing who the heck what they're all doing there. I don't understand what they're doing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, everything. It's been a chapter. I mean, the bullfighting thing was all my friends were bullfighters. They were novilleros. I was with certain time. Then boom. Then I changed, and it's a completely different life. Oh God! I mean, including the worst and the this and that. I'd say there's probably 10, maybe.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, I'd be in certain places like. I mean, when I was during the time of Franco, I mean, nobody had a car. We only had taxis, and I mean, different things that I saw different things happen, and it was always interesting. I mean, it was everything was fascinating and interesting and learning. Oh, I know. It was a prototype. You know what I mean? You know, I'm sure afterwards it was a better car. That's probably why he gave it to me. He didn't like my Rolls Royce. He said, "Why are you driving this Rolls Royce?" I loved it. It was a wonderful Rolls Royce. It was beautiful. It was a special one I was able to buy, and Yeah, so I mean, I'm not a, but the only sports car I really liked was that Ferrari. It was simple, but it was so elegant. That impressed me. That car, that Ferrari impressed me. It wasn't all fangled looking. It was a simple looking car. It was a Ferrari, gray and red inside. That was the Ferrari color, and it was, I think, the best Ferrari ever made. But but like everything else, I don't. Cars mean zero to me now. I mean, I was like a child in a candy store. Well, it's true. I mean, it's just I was able to enjoy. It's like that silly thing when I got that limousine. It was what a crazy, stupid thing. No place to park. You had to have a driver, and it was ridiculous. But I've done a lot of stupid things. I have stories about. See, I got to know all these kung fu people very well, and they told me. I mean, believe me, they all respected Bruce Lee very much. They said he was the top of the top, and I believe it. I worked one time with somebody who had, like, in China, like 8-9 generations had done that. He was half my size. And my God, I'd look at him and he'd show me something. He'd be right there. And all of a sudden, where my head was, his foot was right there. He was
like,
he was there. I mean, he had just killed me like that. I mean, a real person. So they told me, I can put it here, they said there was one girl that really gave him a bad time. And she was always making fun of him. Saying, oh, you're not good in bed, you're no good, this and that. So according to them, and these were people who were his good friends, they said he took drugs, and he died while he was making love to her. And what did she do? She called Golden Harvest. That was the name of the producers, and they made up the whole story. I mean, that's. One time, I'm with this one kung fu fellow who was like a mafia type. He always had like 20 people with him. And he asked me to come with him. So we'd go to a bar, and he'd make everybody leave the bar and have it just for himself. He'd clear out the bar. So then that night, he said they were swallowing goldfish. Now, I thought, fuck, I don't want to.
What the hell?
But you have to do it.
Right.
But I didn't know. I took a goldfish and I swallowed it. The thing is, you kill it before you swallow it. I swallowed it live. And it was in my stomach for about an hour, moving all over my stomach. That was disgusting. Well, several people called me and I mentioned it. I couldn't care less. I mean, honestly, I know another film he did. One time they had a thing with with a fight scene in the television during the scene with me in one of his other. I mean, I tell you honestly, it means absolutely zero to me. Zero to me. I mean,
you told me that Sebastian heard about this and he told you.
Well, he talked to him and he said yes.
To Quentin.
Yes.
And what did Quentin say?
He just said yes, and I was with, for example, Doris Day's, Doris I knew very well, and her son I knew, Terry I knew very well, and it was Terry's house that they had that when they killed all the people.
Right.
And the hairdresser was my hairdresser, except when I came back. All of a sudden, I was like $15, $20. I come back and it was $200. I said, "Are you crazy?" He said, "Well, I cut Frank Sinatra's hair now, and he takes me with him."
That was what's his name? Yeah,
Jay.
Yes, Jay Savory.
Yeah, I mean, so Jay was one of them. Sharon Tate,
Polanski's wife.
Yeah, except I didn't know she was pregnant, and I got to know her just before she got killed, and I made a date with her. She was going to come back in a month, and I had it all written down, and we were going to get together. I swear to you, she had this thing on, but I didn't know she was pregnant. It's not that she was sticking out like that. I would have never. But she was, she let me know that she was interested. Right. She came to, we talked, and it was so that Terry, that was his house. Jay had been always my character, yeah. And all these things, and so, and what's his name, Manson, when the Beach Boys were here, they rented here, and he was here staying with them in my home here. Well, he runs into, because he likes to go to parties and things like that.
With who?
We're
Sebastian likes to go to parties with Spencer, you said?
No, he likes to go with Tarantino and all that.
Oh, yeah.
People, they like all that stuff.
But I mean, like, do you guys know each other?
They know each other. I don't, hello, and I don't.
Have he ever expressed his
no
respect or?
No, because I
try to stay away.
I keep myself. Yeah, I'm not. In fact, Francesco will go sometimes, but I don't. I don't go. I mean, I have no desire.